Hello, 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 all. I hope you're all having a good Wednesday and welcome back to Living Life with Positivity. And this is your host, TZ. All right, if this is your first time joining us, welcome. And you can watch the other podcasts on my channel for awesome tips and ways to help you keep your positivity. And tonight's talk is going to be about tapping into the power of positivity, famous failures and success stories. And I remember an old saying, I heard it my whole life and I still live by it. It is better to have tried and failed than to never have tried at all. Now let's get right into it. Tapping into the power of positivity. I want to give you guys a big welcome to my channel for my new subscribers. Thank you so much for being a part of our family here on TZED Games. And on Wednesday nights is our Power of Positivity podcast. All right, let me get situated here, guys. I'm going to take a little drink before I get started. Like I have said, it appears that the human mind is not capable of thinking, or at least on the subconscious level. It seems like our minds are always occupied by thoughts, whether we want to or not. They are an influence in our every action. So you take your thoughts that crowd your mind on a daily basis, and there is action to those thoughts. And I want to talk about for a few minutes on tapping into the power of positivity. Let's talk about a child, a 3 and 4 year old. They come home from preschool or they colored a paper for you and look, look what I did. And you can see the excitement and the pride in their eyes. They're happy and they're waiting for your praise because they're innocent and they believe in themselves at that age. But as the years go by, we clutter our minds not only with doubt but with fears and depreciating thoughts. Excuse my fumble there. So you can imagine, uh, if you take yourself back to when you were 3 and 4 and look mom, look dad, look what I did, look what I can do, I can ride my bike, and you have pride in yourself and that excitement of innocence because you haven't yet had doubts creeping in, your fears or your self depreciation, and those are our own thoughts that go against us. We'll never go after what we want because our naysaying thoughts make us doubt our abilities. And that's part of tapping in to the power of positivity. Get rid of negative thoughts because they will make you doubt your own abilities. That'll also make you never be the person you want to be because you always feel you're not good enough. But you are good enough. You'll never risk to pursue the things in life and work dreams because you can't get rid of or get over that mental barrier that insists we are weak, unimportant, or maybe too dumb. And these are some of the thoughts that cross your mind. You won't ever begin to see your full potential until you let go of the negative thoughts. And that brings me to, but enough is enough. It's time to stop these limited beliefs and come to a place of sanity, love, and excitement about life, work, and ourselves. How can we tap into the power of positivity, you ask? Well, I'm going to get into that. And I have a saying by Helen Keller that I really, really love, and I'm going to share it with you in tonight's podcast. Happiness cannot come from without, it comes from within. Helen Keller. How awesome is that? Happiness cannot come from without, it comes from within yourself. It's not as hard as it may seem. But guys, you have to practice, practice, practice. And here are 4 simple yet powerful ideas that can get you started. And I'm going to share those with you tonight. And the first one is learn to substitute every negative thought with a positive one. So every time you feel a negative thought is crawling into your mind, replace it with a positive one. Just like if you write a phrase and you erase it and you write a new one, this is what you are going to do with the negative thought that creeps into your mind. You are going to replace it with a positive one. Number 2. See the positive side of every situation. And we have talked about these in many of my games and other lives. I have shared this with many of you. See the positive side of every situation, even when you are surrounded by pure negativity. That's right, guys. We will have negative situation in our lives, all our lives. This one is a bit harder, though. Number 2, guys, it is a bit harder, but it is not impossible. You can find the positivity in everything by mentally holding on to something positive. So if you are surrounded in a negative situation, hold on in your mind to a very positive situation, whether it be with your family, friends, your faith, nature. You will find the positivity creeping in over the negative things that are going on around you. If you seek it, you will find it. That's right. There's always many positives that you can hold on to. Number 3, at least once a day, take a moment and think of 5 things you are grateful for. And I love this one because this is something I do every day. What am I grateful for? Not only will it lighten your mood, but it'll give you perspective on what's important in life and how many blessings that surround you already. Keep that in mind. You have a lot of blessings in your life, and that will definitely lighten your mood. Number 4, change the mental images you allow to enter your mind. This is very important. How you see yourself and how you see your surroundings make a huge difference to your thinking. Instead of dwelling on dark, negative thoughts, consciously build and focus on the positive. Think of light and colorful images. Think of a color that makes you happy. My color is blue, a light blue. I am very happy with light blue. And those light blue thoughts and situations in my mind several times a day. If you are persistent and you keep working on yourself, your mind will automatically reject its negative thoughts and welcome the positive ones. And remember, guys, you are or will become what you think you are. I think that's reasonable enough. How awesome is that? And let's do a quick recap on those four things to help you tap in to the power of positivity. Learn to substitute every negative thought with a positive one. See the positive side of every situation, even when you are surrounded by pure negativity. At least once a day, take a moment and think of five things you are grateful for. And the last, change the mental images you allow to enter your mind. Now, as I said in the beginning, we are going to talk about tapping into the power of positivity and famous failures to success stories. And I have a couple of them here for you. And these were written by Leon Ho. He is the founder and CEO of Life Hack. Failure occurs every day in the schools, in housework, in jobs, within your family. It's unavoidable. Yes, it's irritating and causes pessimism. The thought of flinging up your hands in the air and walking away is all too appealing. But take a second, connect with the people that have already been there and survived. If you have learned from some famous familiars to success stories, you yourself may change your perspective on failure. And here's a saying by Henry Ford that I also love. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. How awesome is that? We're already intelligent when we try something, but you will be more so when you begin again. I just love that. Uh, I don't know why. Now, this first famous person is dear and near to my heart. I am an avid reader and, of course, some of you know, author of scary stories. And Stephen King has been my inspiration. I just love this author. And he is one of our failure to success story. According to Leon Ho, he was a paranoid and troubled child, tormented by nightmares and raised in poverty. It is no surprise that Stephen King grew up to the title Master of Horror. He had an addiction to drugs and alcohol were his mechanisms to cope with unhappiness he felt in his life. The frustration he felt towards multiple rejections by publishers in combination with illicit substance caused him to mentally contemplate violence towards his own children. These intense emotions were those that he focused into his writing, and that is why he said, quote, "We make up horrors to help us cope with the real ones," unquote. Writing became his new coping mechanism, so he turned it into a positive uh, thought process, and this is how the master author we know today grew to success. Stephen King, how awesome is that? There is a failure to success story that you can turn your life around. You can make it a positive. And our second one tonight is J.K. Rowling. During a Harvard commencement speech, the Harry Potter author, J.K. Rowling, outlined the importance and values of failure. Why? Simply because she was once a failure too. How awesome is that, guys? In order to grow and succeed, we must have those failures, but not to let the negativity creep in to your mind. A few short years after her graduation from college, her worst nightmares were realized. In her words, quote, I had failed on an epic scale. An exceptionally short lived marriage had imploded, and I was jobless, a lone parent, and as poor as possible to be modern Britain, without being homeless. The fears that my parents had for me and that I had for myself had both come to pass, and by every usual standard, I was the biggest failure I knew. Unquote. And that is Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling author. Two authors, very famous authors, awesome writings, awesome movies and books. Wow. And they are now success stories. So, in tapping into that power of positivity, you will have your success story. I want to thank you for listening. I hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday night, and I will see you next week. Same time, same place, living life with positivity.